I'm thankful that you're all here today to listen to Andrew. He is one of our stewards here at St. Mark, and he has gone through a major trip, many trips throughout the world, 60 countries, where he's done photojournaling. He has been in war-torn countries as they were trying to regenerate their lives again and re-engage in life. So today, Andrew, and again, wonderful opportunity today, will be presenting us a tour, a photo tour of Greece.
Okay, just a little bit about me. As she mentioned, I've been to over 500 cities. I think it's probably closer to 700 now, in 60 countries on 6 continents. And just a little bit of a background, a little bit of a story on me. I almost got to the 7th continent. I almost went to Antarctica. And I was booked, and I was supposed to go, and the company that I was working for at the time was taking me. And I ended up leaving the company before the trip. And I actually came down to Florida. I was in Tampa, and I got to the Tampa airport, and I didn't realize that that was the same day I was supposed to be on this trip to Antarctica. And I get to the airport, and I'm getting at the luggage carousel, and there's that TV, you know, with the CNN ticker, and it says, the MS Explorer sinks in Antarctica. And I was supposed to be on that ship. Now, no one died, but the coincidence was crazy. I had chills all over my body. So that's just a background, a little bit of the stuff that's happened to me, and I've been through a lot. So I have 15 years of photography experience. As you mentioned, I've traveled all around the world. But my favorite place to travel to is Greece. And I go to Greece every single year. And it's my favorite country of all. Both my wife and I are of Greek heritage. And we really love to get our kids involved in the Greek culture and everything, because without our culture, we're all the same. Everyone's the same, so we have to remember our heritage and our culture. So let me ask you a question real quick. Why do we travel?
To learn, to experience.
Exactly, to create memories. And how do you capture these memories? It's photos. So, what ruins a photo?
Kids.
Why you taking a picture? People go in front of it.
People. Lots and lots of people. So, you know,
Tourists.
most people here have probably been to Greece multiple times. To get a picture of something nice in Greece, especially on a busy summer day, is almost impossible. So the best ways to get nice shots, I'm going to start going through that. Best things are early mornings, which I love. There's a lot less people. Also, it's more comfortable. It's not as hot. If you've been to Greece, it's extremely uncomfortable. So this is my photo. The previous photo I just got off Google because I never go during the high time. So that's the entrance to the Acropolis. And it's almost impossible to get a shot with no tourists there. Let me do this.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the entrance to the Acropolis, again, almost impossible to get a picture with no people in it. So you have to be creative. You have to think about different angles. So that's the exact same spot, using the exact same camera, the exact same lens, but now it's a much more dramatic effect. There's no one in it. When people look at this image, they think you were there by yourself. And to be there by yourself, you have to be a major VIP. Another image, same date, same camera, same amount of people, different angle. Okay? Use your camera's features, and you can create amazing memories. Now, again, I'm going to go back to this photo that I took from Google. I do not go to monuments like this when it's this busy. I just refuse to. I go extremely early in the morning, and I try to get everything done before this group gets, like this massive group of people. Now, sometimes you get caught, whether you're on a cruise or whether you're traveling through with it via, you can't control your timing a lot of times. So, in order to get a nice photo, again, use your imagination, different angles. Point your camera up. And if you can see here, the dramatic sky that day created an amazing photo that, I would put on my wall. Another way to get great photos is use the barriers. Around the Acropolis, around the Parthenon there are those roped off barriers where people don't go through. So what I did is I leaned in and I made sure that the corners of my frame are inside of the barriers, and it looks like, again, they're alone. And you can create some amazing photos and amazing captures with these methods. So the next slide is how another way to get away from the crowds of tourists is to fly above them. So a few years ago, I started adding drone photography and drone video to my skill set, and I'm just going to play this here.
Where were you?
We went like 5 or more. For 6, must have been 6 or something. We were still sleeping.
So funny story about that morning. Again, you can see the sun is just cresting the horizon there over Athens. I was up well before the sun was up. We were staying in Glyfada, and I drove all the way down, and I parked really close to the Acropolis, and I sat down, and I set my drone up, and I just took off. It was maybe 20 feet in the air, and a police officer in a car drives right underneath the drone. I didn't know if I was allowed to fly that close, so I just, sent it up a little higher and waited for him to go away. But it was extremely, mornings are best. And you see the colors, the difference of colors, especially in a polluted city like Athens. There's so much pollution. It actually makes the pictures even nicer. That's an image I took. With the videos are amazing, but pictures, they allow you to focus a lot more. They're more detailed, you capture a lot more. Now this next drone video I'm going to show you, let's fly to the southern tip of the mainland. So this is the polar opposite of the Acropolis. I don't know if anybody's in here has been to Hellenic, but this is my favorite part of Greece. It's the most incredible beach, in my opinion. It's extremely remote. You're not going to see a lot of people there, so I'm just going to let the video do the talking here a bit.
What
So that is literally my favorite place in Greece. I've been all over Greece, and there's nothing like it. It's actually only about 1.5 miles wide. It's a tiny little island. There's no airport anywhere close. You have to drive there. The drive is terrible, but it is worth every minute. Sorry, you had a question?
What month did you go?
I'm sorry?
What month did you go?
month did you go?
Oh, We usually are there anywhere between July and September, but we never miss Elefonisos. Never. We have to go every year. And I told my wife, if we go to Greece, we're not missing it. There's no way. No matter where we are, we have to go there at least a day.
Yes.
This is an image I took in Elefonisos. So it reminded me, it was amazing because we're there, and I got up again before sunrise, and I went for a drive around the island by myself, my family's still sleeping, and I see this path of footprints, and there was no one there. And those are fresh footprints. And I'm telling you, you can see for miles, and there was no one. And it reminded me of the poem, Footsteps in the Sand, if you know that amazing poem. And I took that, and that's actually hanging in my home in large format right now. That's how powerful that image is. And that's another thing. Your images are your memories. And each image, something may not be too special to me, but it's special to you. It's very personal. So your memories are, creating these memories with images is one of my favorite things. Another shot of Elefonisos from above of Simos Beach. And that morning when I went to capture that Footsteps in the Sand picture, my breakfast, of course, bugats and frappe. Every morning, bugats and frappe. Here's another image, a very, very short drive away. I think it's about 20 or 30 minutes, is Monovacia. Has anybody been to Monovacia here? So you have. So, and another incredible walled-in city. You could be in the south of France or in Malta. It feels like a medieval city. It doesn't feel like you're in Greece. Now, if you look, there is a church right about here. There's a church here. There's a little bit of a courtyard here. So I put my drone up into the sky. And there's another church up on the hill. So I go to that church, and I take this photo, and it's amazing. I'm looking at the controller, and I can see the imaging. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a picture from the other side of the church, facing where I am. So I send the drone over the church, and all of a sudden, the controller says, signal lost. Brand new $1,000 drone, down the drain. I start standing up on things, and I start packing up my stuff. I was going to run up this hill. There's some steps right there, and I thought, I got 30 minutes of battery. If I can make it up that, there's no way I was going to make it. But my mind was just going there. I'm going to run up that set of steps there to try to catch my drone. So now, here's a lesson. When you're buying something, buy the best quality you can buy. So that $1,000 drone, as I'm packing my stuff up, it knew to come back to the exact spot where it took off, and it was landing right beside me as I'm about to run up that hill. Okay, the next few slides are kind of one of my favorite genres of photography. It's left to nature. So I'll just show you something that's just outside of Yithio, again in southern Greece. So another thing you can learn as you're traveling.
I don't want to interrupt, but it's a very special name day here too. I don't know if you all picked up on that.
celebrating the St. Andrew, the first called apostle with divine liturgy, but also with a very thoughtful presentation and a very artistic way to present these things. And I look over at Father Alexander because I know that he used to do things like this with slides that he prepared, literal slides that he would then show the parish. So it's kind of a generational gap here, but it's a blessing to be able to continue as we continue to remember the saints, to continue to remember the beautiful things that God gives us. So God grant you many years, and thank you for being here to show us this. God be with you.
Thank you. So I was just saying that very interesting story. So when you travel, all of us probably speak to locals. And again, another spot we try to go to every year, Ethiopia, it's a great spot for food, for culture, for very amazing photography and swimming. But we met this one man this year, he's about my age. And we started talking to him, and I asked him about the shipwreck. It's just down the beach, it's maybe 2 miles away. And he said, oh yeah, when that sank there, the story about the ship was, it was a cargo ship, and they docked in Ethiopia, and this I think is back in 1981. And they docked in Ethiopia because the captain needed to go to the hospital. And he was in the hospital for a very long time, and the company ran out of money, so it couldn't pay the docking fees anymore, so the government towed the ship out to the Mediterranean, way out, and anchored it down. And bad weather knocked the anchor loose, and it went to this spot, and it's been there since 1981. And the guy I was speaking to, he owns a restaurant in downtown, and he was saying, he was a kid back then, and they would explore this ship. They would climb up, and they'd go through all of the different, the galley, and the captain's quarters, and all the staterooms, and the cargo area, and it was a completely intact ship. And now you look at it, it's completely dilapidated, there's graffiti, but if you look at some of these photos, it made such a beautiful monument that they're making it a historical site, and they're trying to keep it, active. And the swimming and snorkeling there is amazing. There's always people around, and you go early morning to get these pictures with nobody in it. But even the graffiti makes it even more of the pop of color. It makes it more interesting. I'm not saying to go out there and take some spray paint and ruin the Acropolis to make it more interesting, but this is just one of the things that I look at. Another thing that's gone now, if you haven't been to the old airport, this is all gone, it's being redeveloped, and these old, very old airplanes that are kind of falling apart. We were driving by, and I said, I've never photographed the old airport, so we were driving by, and I just stopped, and I left my family in the car, and I was walking around for a while. And it's funny because the very next year, they announced the development, and they took it all away. So they've taken these planes away, and it's all gone now, being redeveloped. So that's another lesson. If you see an opportunity to take a picture, take it, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This next video I'm going to show you is some drone photography I did at Methoni. Now, it's another fortress with high walls. It's got an octagonal tower, which makes it very interesting and unique. It's also a great location. It's right beside a pristine beach. And the Methoni Beach Hotel is right beside it. And if you're ever there, they have great pizza. To get images like this, even 5 years ago, you need a helicopter. The technology of drones and the ease of use and the cost that's come down so much, it makes things like this possible. have a love-hate relationship with technology. I don't like where technology is taking everything, being, the technophile that I am, but look at the things you can do. Incredible images you could never dream of taking before unless you had access to a helicopter. Now I want to introduce you to another one of my favorite places in Greece, and has anyone been to Boidokia Beach?
Where's that?
It's in Peloponneso on the west side. Okay, so it is an incredible place. It is a national monument, a national park. There is not even a chair. There's no running water. There's no light bulb. They don't allow any development. It is the true definition of pristine. Like you go to any beach in Greece, there's canopies and chairs and everything. And the beaches are lined, and you see cigarette butts and stuff, and it makes you upset. This is the true definition of pristine. The closest time I've ever almost lost my drone is coming. I'm going to show it to you right now. Right there. So it's funny, when I took the drone on, when I took off with the drone, immediately it said, autopilot disabled, high wind warning, return. I didn't listen. It's a beautiful day and I wanted to get some nice pictures and video. And as I'm coming across the water there, I like skimming the water because it's a great view. And it's going lower and lower, and I'm pulling up, and I'm trying to go higher, and it's going lower, and the wind is pushing it lower, and it came, I swear, half an inch from that water, and it was half a mile out. That was going to be it. It was going to be finished. But luckily, it kept going up, so we were good. Another image from above. Again, you could never dream of taking a picture like this 5 years ago. And it's funny, like, you can see, we're in Greece here, and it's shaped like an ancient Greek pot.
Like a what?
Ancient Greek pot. And Boidokia means goat's belly, so it's shaped like a goat's belly.
But it's like a Greek pot as well.
All right, most people know of the history of the Olympic Games, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of video and photos that I put into a montage of an Olympiad.
Get the kids to run the relay. Huh? In the dirt bag. Of course.
The next slide, I'm going to show you again another montage of some video and photos I took. This time we're going to go all the way to Cape Sunion. Has anyone been to Sunion before?
Yes.
Beautiful spot, absolutely gorgeous. It's only about an hour from downtown Athens. It's a gorgeous beach right underneath that we like to swim at every single year. It's always windy there, so try to go there in July or August. You go there in September or earlier, it's going to be a little bit cold to swim. We've always tried to go for the sunset, since we have small kids. We're usually not able to drive that hour out and back, but we will get to that sunset one day. Another thing I learned about taking photos with my drone, it's very easy to get pictures with no one in them if you just know what time the monument opens. It opens at 9, you get there at 8:30, and you can see it's completely empty. It looks like it's just in the middle of nowhere. The site's not that big, so it's extremely easy to explore the whole site very easily. Again, don't go in the middle of the day. There might not be a lot of people, but it's a very obvious location. Again, there's the kind of view from the beach where you swim at. So we swim this beach, and there it is up there, and there's a zoomed in version right there. It's an incredible spot to swim. And every time we're there, I always imagine, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, there were people here just living under this monument. So there's so much history there. You really think about that every time. Every step in Greece is something. There's some history under every single rock there. Again, another amazing shot from above. Not a single person, because it's not even open yet. And that's the great thing about drones. You can send them wherever you want, anytime you want. Okay, now, back in 2017, my wife and I were thinking about moving somewhere. And I said, what place could we move to in Greece? Like, what would be that spot? And we thought about it a lot before we decided to move to America. And Navio, we love Navio. I call it the Paris of Greece. It's a beautiful, magical place. Historical significance as well, and the history it's incredible. So I'm just going to take you on a little video tour of Navio. These streets are so beautiful. I found myself just behind my phone taking pictures all the time, even when I didn't have my professional equipment with me. It is the prettiest city in all of Greece, bar none. There is nothing that's more breathtaking than walking through the streets of Navio. And that's one of the reasons why I was on our short list of places to move to back in 2017. This is a drone shot of St. George Greek Orthodox Church with that amazing sunset that you could sit every evening, have your dinner and your coffee, right across from that beautiful mountain view of the sunset. Now I'm just going to go over a couple of techniques and stuff to get some better photos. So that is a beautiful sunset. That's in Vracanea, which is right outside of Patra. Gorgeous little spot, but that could be Naples, Florida. You don't know because there's no markers there. It's just some water and a sunset. So what I like to do is I like to frame up the shot so you know where you are. So the trees, the olive trees, you can see they're painted because there's no street lights there for the reflection. And it just frames that sunset a little bit nicer. Another way I like to frame sunsets is with shadows. So that's in Lefkada. And taking photos of people, make sure the focus is always on the eyes. Everything else can be out of focus, but as long as the eyes are in focus, your picture is going to look great. Again, different angles. Separate your subject. Watch your backdrop. And when I say watch your backdrop, I mean, if there's a guy in a Speedo walking back in that picture, you're not going to want to put that up in your wall or in your photo album. And digital photos are great. A lot of people just use their phones. Phones are fantastic now. The quality of images that come out of the phones are incredible. Check your work. Look back at your photo. If it's something that you really love, just look and see if it's all right before you leave, because you might not be back to this spot again. Again, people are my favorite thing, and I love to tell a story. These guys are tough. If you've been to Athens in shorts and a t-shirt with a cold bottle of water, it is hard to walk around in Athens. These guys are in wool, fully dressed, standing still, with people all around taking pictures all day. And you can see they're sweating right through that wool coat. So the story, when you look in their eyes, like that is agony. And when you see, like, I love to tell a story, and you can see in their eyes, that is a tough, tough man. Another thing I like to do to make pictures more interesting is to layer images. So when you first look at this image, you look at the boats. You say, wow, focus is the boats. But then your eyes start to wander and explore, and you're looking at these cool, multicolored buildings. This is downtown Heathfield. And your eyes start to wander a little more, and you see all the tables here of people enjoying the evening. Then your eyes start to wander more, and you see mountains back there in this gorgeous sunset. So you layer your images, it makes them more interesting. And I also like to use blank space a lot. So that sky in Olympia that day was perfect. There wasn't a cloud. There was this amazing, amazing blue. And I said, you know what, I'm going to capture this column, but I'm going to use this beautiful sky to frame it. And that's another image that I would actually put on in a frame. Now, focus and blur is also another way to accentuate and focus on an image. So I wanted to focus on this here, and everything else is out of focus. And believe it or not, I actually took this photo with my iPhone. In most new iPhones, there's something called portrait mode. And if you put your phone in portrait mode, you can achieve results like this that are very similar, not the same, but very similar to a professional quality camera. Okay, so this is what I travel with when I'm really taking photos. Okay, there are 4 professional camera bodies, 8 professional Canon lenses, my DJI Mini Pro 3 drone, and the interesting thing about these drones, that drone is 249 grams. And that's for a reason. Once you get to 250 grams, you need a license to fly a drone. Because they've calculated that if an airplane hits it, it could cause some serious damage in a crash. So you need a license to fly anything above 249 grams. That's why you'll see that on most consumer-grade drones, something that we can buy on Amazon or whatever, it says 249 grams. They engineer it to get to that exact weight. There's this Insta360 stick camera, which is awesome. And it erases that selfie stick too, so it's a pretty amazing thing. Also travel with my GoPro to do underwater photography, my MacBook to back everything up, chargers, batteries for everything, memory cards, and also a backup hard drive, so I have 3 copies of all my images when I get home. If you only have 1 copy of your images and something happens, you lost them all. So again, as a professional, my images mean a lot to me, and I make sure I have 3 copies of everything. Now, tips for traveling to Greece. So we've been there many times, we go every year. I like to pack light, and if you talk to my wife, she says you can't pack light with kids. So I have to get a much larger car than we normally get in Greece, because this is what we normally travel with. It's usually 3, 4 suitcases. So the way we like to travel, we're trying to cut it down, and the way we do that is we book a lot of Airbnbs. We make sure they have a washing machine, and that allows us to do laundry a lot more often. Because as you're traveling, it's hard to find laundry facilities. Rent a car, definitely. I would suggest that if you're able, because you get to a lot of these places that I told you, they're off the beaten track, you're away from tourists. You're going to get to a more authentic experience. You're going to get to talk to more locals. You're going to talk to locals that aren't used to seeing tourists. You notice when you go to a place like Ethiopia versus Athens, where they're used to mass amounts of tourists, you get a lot more attention, you get a lot more respect, and you'll get more authentic experiences when you're traveling to more remote locations. And that's not just Greece, that's in all of my travels. The best experiences I had were the further away from civilization and big cities. Even in Africa. Just a side story. When I was in Africa, I wish someone had told me to bring pencils and pens and pencil crayons, because when you get out to these places, they've never seen a white person before. And you're in the middle of nowhere, and somebody said, give the kid a pencil. So I had a pencil or a pen, and I gave a kid a pencil. And I remember this kid's face for the rest of my life. They hugged me like I gave them a BMW. So, I do some research now before I travel anywhere, and next time we go to Africa, we're going to go to Dollar General and buy a case of pencils and crayons and stuff like that. Again, explore, avoid tourist traps, and my number one thing, if I can give you one piece of advice when you're traveling, seek authentic experiences and speak to the locals. And with that, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.